This is the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, we interview leading local business leaders to inspire the vision and spirit that is in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque.
Hi, my name is Jason Rigby, and welcome to the Albuquerque Business Podcast. Today on our show, we have a very special guest. I don't want to give it away, but we're going to be talking about business systems, operations. He is an expert in this area. I want to thank 99.9 The BFM. If you live in the Albuquerque area, tune in to 99.9 FM. Or if you're at your office and you want to stream it, old school hip hop, you can go to 99fm.com. Also, I want to thank Duke City Marketing. They're the latest state-of-the-art digital marketing agency in Albuquerque. You can go to www.dukecitymarketing.com. That's www.dukecitymarketing.com. Well, today on the show, we have, I want to make sure I get your name right, Page Ollice.
That's correct.
Oh, perfect. And I want to go into a little bit because I found it intriguing when I saw on your Instagram what exactly you do. I think it's unique. It's not even something that a lot of people in Albuquerque are thinking about. But can you go, it's Sharper Steel is your name of your company?
Yes.
Can you go into it a little bit about what your company is?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jason. Basically, Sharper Steel is an economic development company, but traditional economic development means bringing outside businesses and big corporations into New Mexico to fill gaps. However, what we want to do is 80% of New Mexican employment is done by businesses that have 10 or fewer employees. They're small businesses, they're local businesses, they're New Mexico businesses. We want to come in and help them. We want to empower them, grow them, help secure them, make them last for generations so that they're not closing. Because every time a New Mexico business closes, it's not a new New Mexico business that comes and pops back up to fill that space. It's an outside business or a big corporation that comes in and occupies that market share. So now the small business is gone and New Mexico is hurt just a little bit more every time a business fails. So if we come in and help these New Mexico-based businesses into growing, sustaining themselves, or just lasting multiple generations, that's our big focus. It's a win for New Mexico.
And, you know, specifically what you're talking about, Paige, is having, when that company starts to go, then next thing you know, you're going to have a home, like you had mentioned before off air, like a Home Depot or somebody like that, an outsider come in. And what typically happens to these companies?
You have a business, we'll use an example, you have a 55-year-old business, or a 35-year-old business. It's a 55 to 70-year-old business owner who's, you know, born and raised here. He started his business, he's been doing great and running all the show by himself. And then he goes to sell it, and we'll use the hardware example like you said for Home Depot. So he owns a hardware store or a supply store, and Home Depot will buy them out and then close it just so that they don't have the competition. So now Home Depot got a little bit more leverage, and New Mexicans no longer have that option of a local business. And this happens in any industry and any business.
So it's these out-of-state large corporations that are coming in.
Right, or they can't sell it at all. Another example is that same hardware store owner goes to sell it and nobody wants to buy, or millennials don't want to take it over, or nobody can buy it or has the skill. Maybe they don't have kids that want to take it over or are capable of it, so they end up just closing it. And now it's that same end effect, but a different route.
And you can see that. I know there's a lot of aged businesses here in Albuquerque. I've talked to, doing my digital marketing, I've talked to several, and they've done well, you know, word of mouth, and the business has been here. But there's not, how do you, like a succession plan, how does that work? What would you do if there's a business owner listening to this right now and they're, you know, 55, 60 years old? We'll use an example, you know, maybe they've owned a successful, you know, in the Nob Hill area, successful pet grooming. Sure. And it's 3 employees.
Yep.
How would your company come in to help, and they're ready to retire? How would your company come in to make sure that that continues?
Yeah, absolutely. So your example, you have a pet groomer, Nob Hill. They're, we'll say, 30 years in business. They're doing well. They have customers. They're making profit. And you said 3 employees. So we'll say the owner and 2 assistants kind of helping out. Right. The first thing we would do is make a list of everything that the owner is currently doing. Are they doing payroll? Are they doing hiring? Are they actually the ones grooming? Are they supervising grooming? Are they scheduling and sales and marketing? What are they responsible for?
Right.
Then we come in and we build a system and an operation plan of what would this company look like if that person were gone. Completely gone. We need, you know, a sales team. We need a marketing team or agency. We need people that are a general manager. We'll need someone that's doing the payroll. All of the pieces that they're doing, what would it look like? And it doesn't have to be one person. You could have 8 people filling the role that one person was filling, and you break it up. So we map out what it should look like. Then we make a job description of each one. So maybe the wrong person's doing the wrong job. You might have an admin or a secretary who's doing all your social media, your advertising, your SEO. They're not qualified for that.
Right.
You want an expert.
Right.
So those types of things where we fill out what it should look like, and then we come in and we start auditing all of those different sections, the finances, the marketing, the operations, and come in and design an overall plan and then implement it. So we'll come in and we'll, in the end, hire all the people, train all the people, supervise, manage, so that owner becomes an absentee owner. They're still getting paid. It's still their company. We just come in as a minority partner and run the day-to-day for them and make sure everything keeps going so that they can sell, they can pass that down to their kids, they can hold it. We'll buy them out over the long term, kind of like a reverse mortgage.
Right.
Where now it lasts multiple generations. It's not going to go anywhere.
And it's local.
And it's still local, absolutely. Everyone we use, all of our team, all of the people we hire, everyone is based here in New Mexico.
So no matter if it's marketing or it is Quicken Books or whatever it is, you hire local people.
Absolutely. So we will spend the extra money to find a logo designer that's here or in Santa Fe or even, in Roswell that's going to be able to do that rather than going overseas, finding someone in India or Bangladesh to do that.
That makes perfect sense. So not only is the company getting taken care of locally, but you have the workers that are helping that company out.
Bingo. So it's keeping all the money local. It's keeping the support and opportunities local. And it's really just helping New Mexico help New Mexico.
Right. No, that makes sense. And you're coming in, whether an owner had been doing it for 30 years, you're coming in, adjusting the systems, creating new systems, having people, just that alone, by creating those systems, you may see an uptick in your business just off of that alone. If one person, like if the business owner, maybe the husband and wife was working and they were doing it, that right there, you could see if you have 8 other people coming in and handling this, you're going to see an uptick in your business anyways.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be more successful.
You have experts. So if we'll say the owner is doing all of their own marketing, their own social media, their own promoting, they're the ones running around to networking events and shaking people's hands. Maybe that's not their expertise. They're just doing it because they've always done it and they don't know what else to do. But if we come in and we find experts that are doing all of these things, we find a marketing agency that's local that's really good at SEO, or we find graphics, or we find people that can do your community management for your social media, doing all your posting and managing that, or we find someone that really likes promoting and will go to all the networking events and work for commission, where we can set all that stuff up and train them and give them the scripts and empower them to support it. Well, now you have experts working each of those pieces, and that's their only focus versus one owner trying to juggle all of those and may or may not be trained or experienced in any of them.
No, I love that, because I think at the end of the day, when you look at most businesses, what they're struggling with, especially today, is that there's just not, I know as a business owner, and I know you as a business, there's just not enough time.
Exactly. And everyone feels like they have to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started in marketing, was I would do marketing for people, for business owners, and they expect the world, and they say, yes, please give me all the leads. And I say, great, here's your 100 leads. And then they're juggling, and they all fall on the ground and crash and burn, and they didn't make any money off these leads.
Right.
And they're mad at me, and I'm mad at them, and it didn't work.
Right.
So whenever someone would contract me when I did marketing, I would say, hey, I'm going to get you those 100 leads, but first let's go through your whole process to maximize these leads, to make sure you're ready to take them, that you can accommodate and nurture and really get the most out of all these leads, and then we'll do it. And then all my marketing friends, because it's a small circle,
Right.
So they would say, hey, we would love to do yours. You're going to go talk to Page first. He's going to help you build your systems and get all operational ready, and then we're going to do your leads. And we kind of just butted with each other and worked together to support it. And that's what kind of started this whole process.
Well, speaking of operations, I think I'm a fan of this. I was in the Marine Corps, and I know you were in the Marine Corps, but tell everyone exactly what you did when you were in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, so I was contracted as a linguist. I speak Chinese and Korean.
Oh, wow.
And then when I got to the fleet, I just finished all of my training. They said, you're going to go sit in that windowless room and translate for 10 hours a day. And I could not do that. I'm an outdoors person. I need to be changing. And I was like, I'll do anything else. And they said, well, you can go try out for Special Forces. But if you fail, you're coming right back here, and all of us know you failed. And I was like, sign me up. So I tried out. I passed. I went recon. I did that for 5 years. I got out, and I ran their operations. I was setting up $11.4 million budget of who's going where, the training, the who's deployed, who's not, all of the equipment and purchasing for, each year, and stuff like that. And so it converts exactly into the commercial world.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's actually way more responsibility. I mean, you're handling a budget of 11.4 million. How many small businesses have that?
Exactly. And so
how many people were you coordinating and developing systems that you were in?
On average, I was looking at around 30 to 35. At most, I was about 65 to 70, and at least maybe 15.
So having a business with 10 people in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can handle those. That's
with the $1 million budget. Yeah.
Right. Bread and butter. That's what I'm here to help. Because right now, big businesses that have $11.4 million, that have 65 employees, whatever, they already are doing this. They already have the access to these kind of technology and expertise and all of that. And right now, the ones that are getting shafted are those little businesses. They're the ones that don't have this opportunity, don't even know it's out there, don't know how to make these systems, and they don't know that they can afford it. And so we're really just pulling back the curtain and exposing all of that and saying, look, you can do this too, and we'll help you get there.
Yeah, reminding of Systems, the E-Myth book by, I think it's Michael Gerber, but...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but his famous line is, you work on your business, not in your business. And I think that's what we're talking about here when we talk about operations or systems.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're doing. And so we break it up. It's not just me. We have a whole team of experts in all of their different fields. So our marketing expert comes in and analyzes all the marketing. We have a CFO who looks over all the accounting and financials and pricing. We have CEO who actually has done this he came out of retirement just to help us with this. And he used to buy and fix financial institutions. He would go bank to bank to bank and acquire all these banks, fix them. And they were all failing beforehand. And it actually turned into Wells Fargo. He was one of the 5 senior founders for Wells Fargo. He came out of retirement to help us with this project, and he provides all the management coaching, all the executive consulting. So while we're working with these business owners, he's sitting down one-on-one with the owner and explaining to them the change of mindset, the focusing on working on your business instead of in your business, and these types of things, so that everyone at every level is getting a full overhaul and knowledge and experience. And then we work with each of these groups to maximize and optimize this business.
Yeah, because I think we can get so caught up in a rut, especially as business owners, where we're, in the business so long, and then we limit ourselves. It's like, I have tattoos. It's like a tattoo artist. He's going to get paid hourly for his art. There's no way around that. I mean, if he eventually gets apprentices and stuff like that, he gets a percentage. But for the most part, whatever he charges an hour, that's it.
Right.
And you have to be careful as a business owner, because you can reproduce yourself.
Right. And with that, I mean, the tattoo artist is a perfect example. I have people that come to me who are in that exact thing, where they say, hey, I want to make more money. This is my expertise. This is my craft, but I can't really replicate myself very easily. How can this work? And yes, number one is apprentices. You need to start thinking long-term, who's going to do this after I'm gone?
Right.
Or who's going to do this when I no longer want to do this? Number two is pricing. So many people are competing over price, but people buy things for 5 different reasons. They make a decision to buy for 5. Price is the least important of them. And so when you're focusing on price, you're always going to lose. Everyone loses.
Exactly.
But if you're focusing on, this is my expertise, this is my quality, I provide a service that no one else does to this caliber, and you're really pricing yourself in that range, your craft, that we'll use the tattoo artist as an example, they should be charging based on their experience, not the budget of their clients.
Yes, exactly.
And filtering out who can actually afford this level. There are tattoo artists all over Albuquerque.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they're all the same. And if you set yourself aside as, we are premier, we have the best tattoo artists collectively, we have the best training, we only use high quality equipment, we ensure all of our stuff, we're doing everything the right way, we have a better studio, we have better art and designers, and we have a better process. Even the onboarding and experience, the nurture process over time, where people feel like they're a part of that organization. You could charge a premium for that.
Oh, yes,
and
of course.
the exclusivity alone is going to bring you more people, because they want to be in that high-end group.
Yep, exactly. I think, that, and that's something that's so important, because when you look at that, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's tattoo artists, whatever it may be, when you see and you walk in the door, from what you're saying there, especially with customer engagement, when you see that, just changing that system, instead of you're sitting there in a chair with the tattoo, it's funny we're using tattoo artists, but you're sitting in there and you're like, hey, I'll be right there, it'll be 30 minutes. Having a system in place, putting somebody that may be out there, a receptionist or something, that can answer the phone calls, because most tattoo artist places have, it just rings and rings and rings. It'll go.
Absolutely.
If somebody's free, they'll answer it. But having that ability to be able to put those systems in place, you could, like you just said, and then charge a premium for it.
Yeah, and the beauty of that is all of that's replicatable. Those are the systems we're talking about. We're not talking software.
Right.
We're not talking you need this program or you need us to, pay me $15,000 to make you a software program. You don't need that. It could be as simple as the host or hostess in a restaurant or the receptionist at your studio or your tattoo studio who just greets you and says, "Hey, have you been here before?"
Right.
And they go,
exactly.
"No, I've never been here before." "Great. Can I give you a tour or would you like to look around?"
Right.
No. I'll just want to look around by myself." "Great. If you have any questions, my name is, Page. I would love to answer your questions. We have books over here and we have the art over there. I just ask that you don't go back there right now. They're doing the art and we don't want to disturb them in their process. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out." Or they say, "Yes, I'd love the tour." And you say, "Great. I'd love to walk you around. Here you go." And you go walk them around and you have a pre-scripted conversation.
Going into the different artists and what they specialize in.
And you say, "This is Bobby. Bobby is really good at Asian style art.
Right.
He does the natural, he does landscape, he does whatever. This is Jim. Jim does all of the tribal tattoos.
Right.
And he does exquisite. You won't find this on the internet. You won't find this anywhere else." Where
Right.
that person becomes your sales rep.
Yes. Yeah,
And
exactly.
how they answer the phone, how they reply to emails, when they reply to emails, those types of things are all systems that don't cost a bunch of money.
Right.
It's just time. Maybe the owner is really good at that. If they just took the time to type out what they say, if they're
Yes.
already good at answering the phone and they're amazing and they have 100% conversion on the phone and they write out exactly what they say and they go get someone like me to come in and sit down and they say, "You're going to read this script, practice it 5 times over with me, and then you're going to answer the phone and you're going to read the script to them." I'm going to get probably a 95%
Right,
conversion
exactly.
rate because I'm doing exactly what you're doing. But when the owner doesn't take the time to replicate their process, their system for other people, they go get someone off the street, they hire them and they say, "You're going to answer phones," and then they're mad because that person isn't performing to the same level. Maybe they have a 20% conversion rate.
Right.
So now they're confused. They're like, "Fire you, go find another one. Fire them, go find another one." And they're not actually building the system. They're just looking for someone that can be them, and no one can.
Right.
Until
Exactly.
you take the time to make those
I've
systems.
I've never understood why somebody would pay a receptionist hourly, because really it's a sales job if you really think about it.
Not necessarily. I pay everyone by month.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm not even paying them by the hour. I'm not paying them by the job or commission or whatever. I give them expectations, but I'm paying them a living wage so
Right.
that they can live and do their expertise and function and not have to worry. But if they don't...
Would you do bonuses or commissions for appointments? Or...
Exactly. So the
yeah.
way we based this on the insurance. So I worked with MLM companies at the corporate level. I've worked with insurance companies. I've worked with sales. And I really like their programs. And the reason MLM and insurance are booming are because they're offering residuals. If you sold a car for me and I give you a $500 bonus and say, "Good job, thank you, go sell another car," the issue is you kind of get this little peak and trough thing going on.
Right.
But if I say, "You go sell a car, I'll give you $50 a month commission for a period of time, for the next 6 months," it's still about the same thing. But you can, and then I say, "And I'm going to stack it. If you sell another car, I'm going to extend that first commission an extra month. You sell another car, I'm going to extend it another month. But on top of that, you're going to get $50 for the second car and $50 for the third car." So that you actually become, it can be a revenue where you're a full-time car salesperson who's making residuals off these cars. Now, car, unfortunately, only has a transactional income. You sell the car one time and you make money one time.
Right.
But if you said, like a marketing company, and you hired a salesperson, you know that you make profit $500 a month, we'll say, hypothetically, off of one conversion. So one new client, you make $500 a month. You hire a salesperson and say, "You get me a new client, you get $100 a month. You get another client, you're getting $200 a month. Another client, you're getting $300 a month."
Right.
Ad nauseum. You just keep going. They can actually build it until they have a passive income. They have their own residuals. They're making money
Right.
for the ones that they did a year ago.
That's crazy.
And so that's what I've designed, where anyone in my company, anyone in my organization that brings a new business in is getting an ongoing bonus. Forever. While they work with me, they continue to get a bonus. They could be 5 years from now. If that company is still with us, which that's how this operates, is we work together forever. We're looking for the long-term support of New Mexico. And now all the people see that. Everyone we hire, everyone we bring in, all the people who sell and promote this, everyone is on the same page and has that same mindset of let's improve New Mexico for the next 100 years.
Yeah, because when you look at a business can go for 100 years. You're right.
Absolutely. It should. The fact that the average business right now, we'll say first of all, the average business that starts has like a 3-year window.
Right.
They almost all of them. But if you get rid of the ones, you only use the ones that make it past year 5, and you now average it out, the average is 10 to 15 years. So a business is only going to be in business serving people, providing services and products for 10 to 15 years. After that, they go out of business, and now those big corporations that are 100 years or 50 years old take over that market. And now it's very, very difficult for a new business to come up and recapture that space.
When you could have just took that old business that had been established, change the systems, give it some momentum, have some expertise, and that's a lot smoother of a road than a startup.
Absolutely. They already have customers. They already have a reputation. That's basically what we're in the business of, is we capture your experience, your reputation, and your knowledge, and we compound it.
Right.
If you don't have those, we can't work with you.
Right.
It won't work. You're starting a new business. But if you have those, we don't want you to lose it. Let's say we'll use your pet grooming one. We'll say a grooming company did not come in, a corporate one. So you have a 35-year-old pet grooming company, and you close it because you're retired. And then I see that opportunity as a young millennial, and I go open a new pet grooming company in the same spot, doing basically the same thing for about the same price. There's still a net loss because I lost all of your knowledge, your experience, and your reputation, even though I'm opening the exact same business. But if I had come to you and said, hey, sir, I would love to work with you and keep your business going, let's partner up and I'll run it for you, and you can retire and get a retirement check every single month. I just captured, because you're going to keep working with me and teaching me, oh, I learned this a long time ago. Here's a trick. Don't work with this. Do this. Make sure you do this. Say it like this. This doesn't work. Your knowledge, reputation, and experience carry on into me, and that's what causes your business to last for generations. If you can't separate those 3 things and pass them on, you can't carry on.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing, and I think we need to have that wake-up call. I had heard somebody said a long time ago, and I do this occasionally, is pretend like take your business and then sit there at your desk and then say, okay, I just died. Yeah. Sounds morbid. So what happens?
I use that saying. Mine is a little less morbid, but my example is very similar. If you wanted to take a week off of work and do nothing, go vacation, go into the mountains, whatever, just disconnect from everything, would your business still be there in a week? Would you still be making money for that whole week? Would things fall apart? Who would go to for different tasks? You know, which things are most vulnerable?
Right.
And if you just think of that, we don't have to go full death, but if you were to take a week off and you start seeing things start to decay or fall apart or just not work at all and fully collapse, those are the things that you need to start sitting down and really going, okay, how can we run this? For example, if you're doing all the sales and marketing and promoting of your business, and for that whole week, you would have nobody marketing or sales or promoting your business, the next week's going to be a really dry week.
Right.
You say, you know what? Those are things I'm going to do. I'm going to go look for some way to promote and market and sustain this business and grow this business even when I'm gone. Then, once you have that, the next week you say, great, now that that's in order, what would fall apart? And you do the same thing. And then the next week you say, now what would fall apart? And you do the same thing. You can keep doing this forever. It's a game.
You can prepare yourself that way. Like if you're wanting to buy a home in Florida, let's say, we're going to be gone 6 months out of the year. You could still replicate that same process.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is, each time you do this, the value of your company goes up. So even if you do decide to sell, your company becomes more and more automated, more and more turnkey, more and more professional, more and more consistent. And so you can actually ask for a higher price.
Right.
If you're just a solopreneur who's doing this by yourself, or the pet example, you're a pet groomer with just 2 assistants, but you're really handling everything. When you sell that company, someone else is going to have to start over. Yeah, they have your name, your business name, but everything else they're going to have to rebuild from scratch because you've been doing it all in your head. And so because of that, they're going to give you a lot less money because they're really just buying your name and logo. So they're going to offer you a very, very low offer. However, and you're going to want a lot more, and there's going to be a dispute, and that's generally why people close, is they don't want to sell it lower than what they expect.
Right.
But if they take the time to build all these systems or work with us and we build their systems for them and get them all going, now they can sell out as a turnkey operation that's doing everything automatically. They can ask for those premium rates, get a big, cash cash out ticket and leave. And now the new company comes in and they go, well, everything's already running. I don't have to do much. And they'll pay a lot more for that because there's a lot less risk. There's a lot less loss. The company runs on its own. You could have an investor who invests in your pet grooming company because they know they don't even have to run it. They don't have to show up. They don't have to do anything.
Right.
They just have to put cash down to own this company so that the previous owner can go buy that house in Florida.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that
don't go to Florida. It's humid.
I was born and raised there, and then my parents ended up moving to Seattle, so that was an extreme. But yeah, it is. It's muggy.
Yeah,
the alligators are
Albuquerque
crazy
is
there now.
amazing. I don't know why anyone would ever want to leave.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
I would
they have
retire
the
and
best
move next door. Like that'd be me. I'm not
Yeah,
going
no, I
anywhere.
don't want to go anywhere where. I mean, you lived in Texas, same scenario.
Oh, absolutely. I lived in Texas. I went to college in Florida, and that was the most humid I'd ever been in my life. I was like, why do people retire and come here? I'm moving to the Southwest.
Yeah, I heard they have like pythons and boa constrictors. They're like breeding wildly because they all with the hurricanes and stuff like that.
I didn't hear that, but I believe it, and that just scares me more. Like, I'll stick with rattlesnakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we're going to take a break right now, and then when I get back, I want to talk about. We're going to get into this a little bit more, but what I really want to talk about is because I think this will be of a help to business owners is the going down that being desperate and going down the price.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Yeah, and instead of looking at your product and being premium.
Sure.
So we'll do that next. Thanks, guys.
Join us this week for another episode of the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, he interviews leading local business leaders that inspire the vision and spirit in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque. Listen or download this Sunday afternoon at 4 from your favorite podcasting app.
And we're back. This is Jason Rigby with the Albuquerque Business Podcast. Today we have Page Ollice. And your website page again, what is it?
SharperSteel.com.
And if they go to, are you on Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, we've got all of it. If you just search on any of the social media platforms for Sharper Steel, it'll come up. We've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn. It's pretty much the top one at each one of those.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you guys go check that out. I encourage you to do that. One of the things I want to get into, because I think this will help business owners tremendously, is this trap, and I've seen it over and over again, I know you have too, is they get desperate because no one's walking through the door.
Sure.
So then the big signs, the banners, the percentage offs, the pricing.
The price and discounts. Yep. Absolutely.
Can you go into that a little bit for a business owner?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my experience, there's 5 different reasons that someone will make a purchase decision on anything. And so you have quality.
Right.
Is this a good quality product? And you're going to compare apples to apples on quality. Then you're going to look at availability. Maybe you want these apples, but they're only available in Europe.
Right.
Versus apples here in New Mexico. So you're going to look at quality and availability. Then you look at convenience. Maybe it can get shipped to you later, or maybe it's right down the street, or it's right next door to your house. So you'll go to Walmart next door to your house, or Albertsons next door to your house instead of the Walmart that's maybe 2 blocks further.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, and if you think about it, you're making these decisions subconsciously. You're
Right.
not thinking, okay, well, if my first priority will be quality. If that's not there, then I'm going to go with accessibility. You make all these decisions in your own head all the time, every day. And then you have reputation. What is the reputation of the company? What's the reputation of the product or service? You compare that. And then price. So if we'll use groceries just because that's something everyone buys, whether they're business owner or not. If you're thinking about buying groceries, the first thing you're going to look for in the back of your head is, where do I usually go? You say, I usually go to Albertsons, or I usually go to Sprouts, or I usually go to Walmart, whatever. You're going to think that. Then you're going to think, okay, but which is on my way to work? Which is on my way home? Which is closest to my house? Who's closed and who's open today? Who's got better hours? And then you're going to go with, what is the quality of the product that's there? Maybe Sprouts has a lot better selection of what you're looking for, but Walmart is half a mile away. And then, so all of these play different factors, and different people look into different ones. And then at the end, you make your decision. Now, price always is one of those factors, but of the 5, it is the least important. For example, if you found the cheapest one, but you knew it had bad reputation, bad quality, poor accessibility, or was inconvenient to buy, you would not buy it. But if you found the most expensive one, and it had all of those things, it was convenient, it was accessible, it was high quality, and it had a great reputation, you're going to spend the extra money. Think Apple. Apple looks at this exactly that way, where they say, we will not fight on price. We will be the most expensive, and we will fight to have convenience, accessibility, quality, and reputation. And if we have those 4 things, people don't care about the price.
I think also with Apple, Page, and you'd agree on this, it's one of the most competitive fields out there. In fact, think about this, business owners. You can get a phone with the camera, you can get the apps, the Facebook apps, everything else for free.
Oh, yeah.
And Apple's competing against something that you're giving for free.
Oh, yeah. And it's the same service. So you can't say that it's, the AT&T or the Verizon or whatever the access.
Right.
The service is the same. It's literally just the equipment that's changing.
Right.
And people will pay the $800, the $900, the $2,000 for these premium products versus the free phone that they could get.
Right. Exactly.
And that screams right there that people are not thinking about price. The problem is business owners, that's their go-to. They don't want to think, how can we make this more convenient? How can we make this more accessible? How can we put this in a customer's perspective? How can we improve our reputation and, what people think about us? And how can we improve the quality? And it's not just the quality of the product. It's the quality of the experience, the website, the purchase experience,
Right.
the nurture, the reputation, the tattoo parlor that we were talking about in the first segment. That same thing where how can I improve the quality of the experience? So they're improving the quality of their materials that they're using, the quality of the artists that they're hiring or promoting, and the quality of the staff, the studio, the experience as a whole. And by improving all of that, the price becomes a non-issue. People will pay a premium price for a premium quality product.
Yeah, and it so amazes me, especially, like when you get a tattoo and I want you to take off from this, but
Sure.
When you get a tattoo afterwards, okay, you're done. Let me put some plastic on it and away you go. That's like, you have so many social media opportunities right there. An artist just put something that's going to last on a person's body till they die forever. Why isn't there an area with great lighting with your logo behind it and you going out there taking a picture with you and then tagging yourself on it? I mean, go there on the marketing side.
Yeah. So from a marketing perspective, that is a plethora of opportunity. You could have a corner of your studio that's painted a little bit differently, that has better lighting, that, like you said, has your logo, your Instagram tag, your social media stuff in the background. Every time you finish a product or a tattoo, you have them walk over there, and first you take a couple very high quality, high resolution photos, just them. Whole body type thing where they're showing off their tattoo. Then you take them of just the tattoo. Then you take them of them with the artist that did the tattoo.
Right.
And now you just got content. You just got at least 3 photos. I would probably round it up to 5. Then you could take those exact same 5 photos and you put overlay on each one of them, or you make it Western with different filters.
Right.
So you're putting filters and screens and lenses on each of these. And so now you take those 5 and you turn them into 20. And
Yes.
some of them you put text over. You go find a famous quote that's relevant to what you just did. A before and after change of yourself or your personality for a koi
Right.
fish. That type of thing. Where you find what does this tattoo mean to the person and you put it on there. So now you just got 20 content. From a business owner perspective, you got 20 content off that one tattoo. You now post those and schedule them on different platforms. You don't have to post them all at once. You put them into a folder and you save those so that over the next 6 months, you just keep reusing that one tattoo that you did. You tag yourself, you tag the person. If you tag that person, all of their friends and family will see it. So every time you promote it, you add it to your folder with a little file that shows the date, the artist, and the recipient, so that you can tag them again and again and again and get exposure to their contacts,
Right.
their friends, their family, because they're going to reshare it. They're going to be excited. They're going to comment because that's their friend who's being promoted on a business site. They love that. And so you have all this opportunity. You could have a video, a little hype video, where it's just a slideshow with music of all of these different people that you've done. You could have a separate channel on YouTube for each of the artists so that it's just them and their clients for each one, so that me as a prospective tattoo recipient, I can go on there and just look through to see which artist's trend I like. Whose channel do I like better?
Right.
Of these styles where you just go slow motion in a camera panning over the tattoo. You have so many opportunities just there on that one product that you already did. And guess what? Most of those are free.
Yes, exactly. It was the cost of a nice camera, nice lighting in a corner.
Absolutely. And like me personally, because this is just how I am, I'd go find a professional photographer and say, would you like to set up in my shop? We'll pay you on the book and we'll tag you in everything. We'll set you all up in everything. And you get someone that knows what they're doing with a camera. They're in charge of just sitting there editing and doing all of that. They're in charge of all of that. They love that. It's the same thing as we were talking about before. Finding an expert that knows that back to front.
Right.
And putting them in charge of it so it's their passion coming out.
Yes, exactly. I think that's so important. And I think it would be same. We used another example earlier. It'd be the same as the groomers. Who doesn't like dog pictures?
Oh, if I had a groomer, I would go crazy. I'd have videos. I'd have a live stream video that's just constantly watching these puppies, just so that people will log in to watch the puppies on the background. They'll put a little window on their work screen where it's just the puppies playing all day, all night.
Yeah,
they can literally watch them live stream.
Watch them grooming their dog. I mean, the list goes on and on.
And then now, anytime the dogs do something funny, you cut that segment out. You put it on your YouTube. You put it on your Instagram. You put it on your Facebook Live. You put it on everything. And you say, check this out. What do you guys think? What would you do if your dog did this? You know, don't you think this dog is cute? What do you think you'd name this dog? You know, how old do you think this dog is? Little polls. Who's cuter, this one or this one? You could go crazy with something like that.
You could go to the Humane Society, do before afters, take a dog that, you know, has maybe been abused or something like that, and then take it into the grooming, have it look amazing.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Do a before and after
You
post.
had hairstylists that did that with homeless people.
Yes.
Where they would go in New York and LA, and they would go take homeless people who are overgrown, hair and beard and all of that. And then they would take them in, and for free, they would just do a full makeover. Beard, mustache, hair,
If you're a hairstylist, listen to this.
And then they would put it on they would maximize it. Those things go viral instantly. Because it didn't look like there was a promotion. It was 100% a promotion. But it didn't look like it. It looked like social enterprise. It looked like them helping out their community and their people in the community. And so it's people, at the end of the day, that's all they were doing. And you could do that exact same thing with the Humane Society, where you go in and you groom all of them. And now you save those photos and videos, and any day that you don't have something that you're clever that you want to post, you just go into your folder, you go post one of those, and you're going to win. You're going to get brownie points for the next, week. And then you go do it again.
Or if you're a mobile dog, I mean, we could do this all day, you and I.
Yeah,
but if you're a mobile dog groomer, why not strike up a thing with the brewery for their patio and take the mobile dog groomer there, and then people can bring their dogs. And
then you start working with dog walking services. Then you start working with volunteer organizations. Like, the list goes on of how you could expand that into a multiple streams of income.
And we just picked tattoo shop. We picked kind of
arbitrarily,
But I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, now when you're creating that customer experience, like you said, I want to tag this back into it. Now you can charge a premium.
Exactly. And this doesn't just, retail spaces or these type of cutesy things. You could be in construction.
Right.
I was the general manager of a general contractor. So that's construction. There's nothing pretty about construction.
Right.
It's boring. It's the people in it we are not attractive people.
Right.
So we're not really capitalizing on, bikinis in the construction industry.
Right. So that would be interesting.
Right, exactly. But what we do have is before and afters. We have better before and afters than just about any other industry. We have no building to a building. We have decimated house to a beautiful house. We have fire damage, whatever. Put a new addition on it, new paint. So we have before and afters better than anyone. And if we took before, during, and after and created slideshows or, just flip book type things.
Even videos from your phone. Here's week 1.
Bingo.
Here's week 2.
And then also, we have crews. We have a lot of people. People love people. So if I went around to each of the people in my construction company and I did a 30-second interview, just their background. Hey, what have you been doing? Oh, I've been welding for 16 years. Yeah, what got you into that? My dad taught me, my grandfather before him. We've been welding everything. What are you working on outside of work? Oh man, we're welding this awesome, move by itself machine that we designed, and it's really cool, and we're going to enter this competition. It's going to be amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you. And where are you from? Oh, I'm from Tennessee. Great. Well, it's awesome to meet you. I love having you on our team, and I love seeing what you guys can do in the welding. You do that for each one of your employees. They're not pretty, they're not in bikinis, they're not whatever, but they're passionate about something. Everyone is.
Right.
And you touch on that, and now you turn it into a text so that you can introduce it on your website, where you put a picture of that person and you put their little blog that they said. You put a video there. You put it on your YouTube channel. You post it on your Instagram. You put it on your Facebook. You put it all over in text form, in video form, in audio form. It doesn't matter. You cut bits and pieces out of it.
Right.
You put quotes, from our team. You put them in emails and send it out to all your contacts. Say, hey, I wanted to introduce you guys Jimmy. He's our newest guy. He's our welder, and he loves welding. You could do this with any industry, any business, and I can't say that enough, because businesses think, well, that doesn't work for me. It does. absolutely does. As long as you understand that the customers are people, your employees are people, and it's people working with people.
And your marketing should be centered around that.
Absolutely. I mean, building relationships. How are you helping people reach their dreams and goals?
Right.
Whether their dream is a new bathroom, a cleaner dog, a less smelly dog, a new tattoo, it doesn't matter.
Right.
What are these people looking for? What is their dreams? And how can you help them get those dreams as a person?
Yeah, that's so good. And that gets back to what we talked about with Apple, because it becomes a lifestyle.
Exactly.
The brand is that.
They identify as part of that brand. They would not go anywhere else because they feel that Apple understands them, they understand Apple, and they are one and the same. They identify as an Apple customer. And once you identify as something, it's very hard to switch. If I identify as an Apple customer, I'm not going to switch to an Android. If I identify as a Chevy driver, I'm not going to go buy a Ford F-150. If I identify as someone that only drives German cars, I'm not going to switch to American. So you want to build a brand and a tribe of people following you to the point where they don't want to go anywhere else because they identify as your customer.
I think we can look at that here. I know all of you as business owners go to Costco. I mean, that's all they focus on is having an excellent product and then a perceived value. You don't know what they paid for that product. You don't know how competitive it is.
Consistency.
Yes.
People underestimate consistency. But if McDonald's does not have the best quality.
Right.
We go to McDonald's because it's a consistent experience.
Right.
It's consistently priced, it's consistent quality, and consistent expectations. So if I look at anything in the world, and we'll use restaurants just because that keeps it easy. If I go into a restaurant the first time and it's a solid 10, perfect experience, perfect food, perfect atmosphere, everything was amazing, best restaurant experience of my life. And then I come in another time and it's a solid 3. I'm never going to tell my friend, one, I'm never going to go there again. I might go there one more time just to see which one was a fluke, but I'm never going to recommend it to my friends because I can't tell them what the experience will be like.
Right.
I can't say the food is amazing or the food is crap because I don't even know. And so because it's inconsistent, I'm not even going to mention it, good, bad, or otherwise. I'll be like, I went to this restaurant, I don't even know, I wouldn't recommend it. Go somewhere with a consistent experience. So you could go somewhere that's amazing, or you could go somewhere that's terrible, that's cheap, convenient, and all the other things. But you're looking for consistency because that's what people will talk about. So McDonald's, you go there because every single time you're going to get about the same price with about the same quality with about the same experience all the way through. So you know what to expect. So when you're looking for something that fits that model, whether it's fast, convenient, easy, available, you think McDonald's.
And why is McDonald's so successful? It's systems.
It's
because you're taking an employee that's basically a high school kid, and you put them in these systems, and the systems are so effective that it produces consistency.
Oh, absolutely. And to own a McDonald's franchise, you actually have to go to school, where you learn how to run these systems. The systems are already in place, but they make you walk through all of those different systems, understand how they work from above and below, so whether you're the one doing the system or you're the one supervising the system, and then all the way up so that you understand the importance and how to run a system. The reason that people who run McDonald's franchises or any other franchise work is because they come with the systems in place in any franchise. And that includes Home Depot, that includes Arby's, that includes McDonald's, that includes Jiffy Lube. These are all franchises that come with prescribed systems, and that's what people are paying for. That's why they can get a premium and charge people to go open up another Jiffy Lube. So if your company is thinking about franchising or opening a second location, the first thing you should do is make that entire Bible of your business of all the systems for every single position, every single thing at different stages, at startup, at growth, at scaling, at millions, whatever, so that you can then present that to the new location and run them through the same way McDonald's does, and now you have a multi-location that works. A lot of multi-locations don't work. One is way higher quality, one is a better experience, or one is more profitable and the other one's failing. And it's because they're not doing this homework ahead of time.
Yeah, and that's so good. And I want to tie it back into your business because I think this is a perfect time to do this. There's a word that everybody likes to use, and it's important. It's called legacy. And I've talked to business owners, and they're like, I've got such good word of mouth. I have amazing business. I don't even need to advertise. I don't have to do marketing. I've been here for 30 years. But what happens when you're gone? What happens to your business? What legacy can you leave behind? That's why these systems are so important. And I think that's why your business is
that's
important.
what we're looking for, is we want to come into those businesses that are in that exact situation and make them last forever. There's no excuse. If you don't need to pay for marketing, if your business is churn and burn, doing everything right, everyone's excited to work with you, they're recommending them to their friends, you're the go-to, then we need to make sure that you're still the go-to 100 years from now. We need to make sure that you're still employing people, that you're still presenting quality, and you're providing this product and service consistently in 50 years.
Right.
And the only way to do that is by working with someone who knows how to make this permanent. And so what we do is we come in and we turn what you're doing, we improve it, we update it, modernize it, clean it up, streamline it, scale it, grow it, whatever is needed. And it's all custom. We don't come in and say, this is exactly what you need to do, follow this. No, we come in and assess, what are you doing, what's been working, what hasn't, how well has it been working, what can we improve, what can we modernize, and then we take that, turn it into the systems, and grow and proliferate. And if that means let's open a second location, great, let's do so. If that means let's scale and double our size, we'll do that. If that means let's coast and just double our client base or introduce new products or whatever, it all depends on the new or on that business. We're not going to prescribe something. We're going to sit there and assess and work with the business owner on how can we make this business grow and last forever.
Right. And I think that's so important. You would hate to spend 30, 40, 50 years on a business and then you die and the business dies with you. That's mostly what happens.
Yeah. And the biggest issue we've found so far is everyone says pride, where they say, I don't want to share my business with anyone. I can do this better than anyone else. And so I don't want to work with you. And that's pride. But at the same time, if you don't work with someone like this, it's going to fall apart. And where's the pride there?
Right.
Where's the pride in spending 40 years building this empire, this legacy, and then watching it all crumble while you're in retirement?
Right.
Or having to close the doors, or crew, your family, your employees, hey, I'm sorry, we're closing down because I don't have anyone to run it, or my kids don't want to take over. Those types of things are devastating, not only for the people directly involved, the employees, the customers, and all of this, but just for the state as a whole, for the New Mexico people. We are all losing when a local business collapses.
That's exactly right.
Or anything. And so we need to empower each other. We need to work together. We need to cooperate and build something that outside businesses can't take control of.
No, I love that. And I think it's so important that we need to look at it, because I've seen so many business owners, they're tied to their business. They want to retire.
Yeah.
But they know what will happen.
Right. And they're terrified. And so they end up working until they're into their grave.
Right.
And then it still fails anyway, because now they're gone and they didn't take these types of procedures in place. It's not a quick process. If you were thinking about selling, next month, and you called me up and said, let's do it, I want to sell next month, but I'd love to work with you. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to take a few months to build these systems, to set things up, to streamline, to find the right people, to train them, to put them in the right place, to scale and grow and automate and streamline. All of these things take time. We'll help you every single step of the way, and we'll work with you. And I mean, the pitch that we've been using is we'll do anything that you want or that you don't want to do in your business, up to including running the entire thing.
Right.
So if you are a 2-year, 5-year-old business and you're struggling trying to keep everything above water, and you're just floundering, or you don't know things and you're trying to learn it as fast as you're doing it, that's when you call us and we come in and help you and provide all those things. If you're an expert at one thing, the example I use for construction is a carpenter. You're a 40-year-old carpenter. You're the best in the entire state. You know everything there is to know about carpentry. So you decide you're going to start your own contracting company. There's a lot that goes into a contracting company that a carpenter never even experiences.
Right.
The payroll, the insurance, the how to get a job, the marketing, the bidding. All of those things are above and beyond their scope of experience.
Right.
So we come in and say, carpenter, we want your experience and we want your reputation to last. We will provide all the rest of it for you. You train and build crew, the construction crew. You're going to have a lineage of people. You're going to have apprentices that are learning from you. You're going to have mid-experience that are working with you and supporting you, and we're going to do everything else. Or it could be an aging business owner, a baby boomer who's thinking about retiring or selling, or their kids don't want to, and the business is running. They just need someone to run it for them. And we can come in and run the whole thing 100%. They are gone. They can show up as much or as little as they want. Some people need an identity. They need to work, so they need to keep coming back, and that's fine. We're not going to kick them out. It's still their company. But we'll do anything that they don't want to do just to keep this business going. Because at the end of the day, it's New Mexico, and that's who we're trying to take care of.
And I don't think, you can, as a business owner, you can get so caught in, get so tunnel visioned that you forget to think about legacy, think about when your business leaves, what happens to your client, and what experience they had with you for years and years. And then also what it does to the community.
Right, and the employees, the community, just everyone is benefiting. Like I said at the beginning, 80+% of New Mexican residents work for businesses that have 10 or fewer employees. That means 80% of our community are dependent on small businesses. And every time a small business closes, that number falls.
Yes.
And we now are losing as a state, as a people. We are losing whenever a small business closes. So anyone, whether it's your business, whether you know someone's business, whether you think of someone that might be thinking about retiring or selling out, just those are the people that we need to sit down and grab a coffee with and work with and talk to make sure that this is done well, whether they work with us or not, just so that it stays in business. Because at the end of the day, we're not a consulting company. We do consulting. We're not a marketing company. We do marketing. At the end of the day, we're an economic development company that wants to help New Mexican businesses grow and last forever.
That's awesome. Well, Paige, I learned so much today. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so if there's a business owner out there and they're interested in this and they want to have a cup of coffee with you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The easiest way is you go to sharpersteel.com and there's a link that you just click schedule, and you can pick a time, a date, a location that works with you. Any coffee shop in Albuquerque, I think I've been to all of them at this point, but pick one. I prefer local, but we'll work with that. We'll go to Starbucks if you really need to.
Right.
And we'll go sit down and we'll talk. But my number is 505-510-4182. You can call that. You can text that. Or you check us out on any of those social media platforms looking up Sharper Steel. And anyway, it'll get back to me and we can sit down one-on-one and chat and see if it's a good fit.
Well, perfect. I encourage everyone to do that. It's worth the cup of coffee. I know just us talking alone, I learned a ton, and I hope all of you got value from that. I do want to thank 99.9 The Beat for being a sponsor of this, and also Duke City Marketing. I want to make sure that each of you subscribe to the podcast. If you're a business owner, support this podcast. Subscribe to it on iTunes. If you have Spotify, we're on Spotify. Tune in. We have that. Stitcher. And never miss an episode. You'll always get value out of it. I try to push that with everything that I do, is that I want to provide value for business owners. Stop at our new website. You can go to abqpodcast.com. That's abqpodcast.com. And thanks again, Paige. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason. Take care.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, DukeCityMarketing.com. Please go to abqpodcast.com, where you can get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner in Albuquerque.